coming to man up, I've learned how to be a father, and learned how to be a family man. I've learned how to take responsibility, to own up for what I do.
Man up's done a lot for me. I'm happily married. I never hurt my wife again. The relationship I've had with my wife, now it's beautiful.
I'm now drug and alcohol free. And out of the 6 children, I have 3 children that's come back.
I'm violent free. I'm happily married.
Everything is gone for me. I'm totally a new man, and I really love Man Up. It's changing me.
I'm a lot happier with my life. I actually love myself so that I can love others, especially my family.
Clean off crime, start on a new life, coming to church, praying, slaying. That's my life now, is just help out our community.
Man up to Tangata. There's actually a brotherhood here for you. If you're struggling out there, we're here to help you.
Kia ora everybody, welcome. Open Up Bro show here tonight, Facebook Live. Glad to have you on board. Hopefully you're comfortable where you are and relaxed. Spend the next 30 minutes, half an hour with us. Tonight we're going to be addressing the issue around fear of failing, fear of public speaking, and just how fear grips us and limits us in our potential as men, as fathers. And we definitely want to open up about this, and tonight I'm blessed to have a very good panel with me here tonight. Brother Angus here and Brother Mike, they've come on board. They have overcome their fear to come on a live set with me. This is their first appearance, so don't worry guys, it's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
As I said, we just got to laugh at fear, so remember, you laugh at fear.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Good guys. Look, thank you for coming on board tonight. Really awesome that you've taken the time out of your schedules to be here. We've got a bit of time ahead, so we're just going to work through fear, failing, things that really grip and hold our men back from reaching their full potential. We're all fathers on the set tonight, so that's really awesome. But tonight, listen, we're going to involve our audience. Yes, that's right. I'm going to give you the questions that I'm going to give these guys, and I want you to post up your feedback, post up maybe your experiences, maybe some encouragement. A lot of encouragement would be good, especially on this theme. And also, any questions that you have, we'll answer them at the end of the set. So tonight, guys, you listen up, and our audience, you listen up as well. The question is around, why are men so... Sorry, I've got the wrong card in front of me. Here we go. Don't always get it right, I tell you.
All good.
Back on track. So, public speaking. Number one, public speaking. They say public speaking in front of crowds, is more feared than death itself. So that's the first one that we're going to have a look at. The second one is, what about the fear of failure? What are some of the failures that we face as men? I guess, when we think about that question ourselves, it's probably a lot of times, 1,000 times we've attempted things and failed. And we're going to have a look at that as well tonight. And also a biggie is the fear of rejection. How many times have we done something and said, oh, no, that's enough, I'm not going to do that again. Got embarrassed, fallen on our face, debt-ridden, all sorts of situations and scenarios by having your first go. And maybe going back again, having a second go, a little bit gun-shy, lost your confidence. We're going to talk through those things tonight as well. So let's get into our discussion. You get on your device and start interacting with us, and let's see if we can beat these fears that have come into our life. Kia ora, guys. Good to have you on board. Have you had a good day?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Fantastic day. It's always a good way to get a response from these guys, eh? Guys, Mike, how have you faced these fears in your life?
For me, would be the speaking in public. It's like someone's got a heater on your face, and I tend to think I'm mumbling when I'm speaking, and then when I'm talking, it feels like I've only got one breath of air, and I run out of breath. I sort of pause, and then that fear just comes over me, and then my mind goes blank. But the main thing is the mumbling part. After speaking in public, I try to hide away so no one can give me feedback on what I just said.
So sometimes we don't like the sound of our own voice. Would you say that?
Yeah, and that.
Yeah. Angus, I'll put that question to you too. The fears that you've faced, what's been your experience with that?
Gosh, fear's been a big thing for me. I face fear every day in what I do as a profession. And, you know, as a Polynesian growing up in Christchurch, I'm originally from Christchurch. You know, I was raised as a Samoan, under a Samoan father who came from the islands. And so, you know, he raised us under fear of his fist, fear of his upbringing. And really, you know, moving over into my job and what I do for work, I face fear of failure, you know. And so for me, fear is always there. But I've learned over time to actually use it to my advantage, let it drive me. Fear of failure is a big one for me.
That's good. That's good that you say that. We're gonna move on to some of the positive side to things of how we defeat fear.
Cool.
But you know, Mike, I just want to come back to you. You know, you said, you know, not liking the sound of your voice, messing your words up. You know, remember at high school you told to get up there and recite something, and what was the feeling? Remember those feelings?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Even just standing up. You know, it's just that, it just felt like everyone's staring at you, waiting for you. That's how it felt, like everyone's waiting for you to slip up. That's what it felt like.
So with those fears, you know, let's just have a look at where those sorts of fears go when we're bound and we can't talk. And maybe tonight, you know, that's your fear too. Just be open, because this is what Open Up Bro is about. That's why we're on the set here. We're sharing our experiences with how we've overcome these, I guess, these prisons. These prisons, I call them prisons because you are locked. And so this probably potentially affects us if we can't speak just in public simply. It's going to be very hard to communicate later on, isn't it? Would you say? Like, you know, with our partners, just with anybody?
Just anything in general, just keeping a conversation. That's what I find hard. When I get that fear, it's like there's just a pause and uncomfortable silence.
That man responses, remember those man responses? And we all know about that, eh? Like, how's your day? We're good.
Mean.
Sharp.
Hard.
Short. Yep.
Solid.
You know, when we're doing the messages, that people send us long text messages. Okay.
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's a part of that, isn't it? You know, that
right.
we haven't learned or been encouraged to be great communicators. Would you say that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely been one of mine. I mean, like the brother here, he stumbles and mumbles. I stutter when I'm nervous, you know?
mumbling,
Yeah.
stuttering,
Yeah.
and lisp.
Yeah.
All three of us, we've got dysfunctions, with our speech. Yeah.
What a team, eh?
What a team. What can we do?
The lispers and the...
Well, okay, here's my little short story to add to that, you know. I'm doing church notices. This is about 15 years ago. I think it's about 15 years ago. I'm doing church notices. What a privilege. Standing up in front of everybody and giving the notices for the church and for the week and what events are coming up next. I thought I did a fantastic job, okay? A European lady, nothing against any, you know, ethnicities, I'm just saying a European lady, because I'm Māori, she comes to me up straight after the service and says, "You're pronouncing THs incorrectly." I said, "What? Who the heck are you?" Because that's what you do, your defence goes up because you're trying to protect something that's weak in your life.
Exactly, yeah.
And I was sort of trying to get away from me. You're embarrassing me. You're highlighting something in me that I'm not comfortable about. To cut a long story short, I ended up at her phonics classes.
Wow.
Kathy, hi Kathy. I ended up at her phonics classes, sitting around a table this high with little toddlers' chairs, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, learning how to pronounce THs. Anyway, short story.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, anyway, we're not talking about solutions, we're talking about the fears that we've had to face. What about the other one, that failing?
Yeah.
Not making it, you know? Expectations set, expectations not met. What's your experiences?
Well, for me, I mean, failure was big for me. Look, it's growing up with a Polynesian father, as I said before. He had huge expectations for us on the sporting front, you know.
Very vocal on the sidelines.
Oh, I did. Yeah, it got to the point of embarrassing. But the thing was is that his expectations of us would be the best, you know. Like, if you wanted to play for Canterbury, he wanted you to play for Canterbury. If you were playing for Canterbury, he wanted you to be the captain, and then you wanted you to make junior Kiwis and progress on in life. And so you grew up with these expectations or false sense of expectations. And if you didn't meet them, that just nurtured and cultivated, a spirit of fear, really. Fear of failure, in particular. You didn't want to let your dad down.
Same with you, Mike? Childhood?
With me being the oldest out of the grandchildren, mine was fear of disappointing my uncles because they had a strong influence on my life. And it was like every time I did something, they were always in the back of my mind thinking, you know, am I going to do this? If I don't, they're going to mock me, sort of thing. Yeah, and then that was always in the back of my mind, was failing my uncles. Yeah, they were strong.
Yeah, which obviously can then lead to, you know, that other fear of rejection, being rejected.
Yep.
Because you're not meeting those expectations, and then obviously you feel the rejection. You know, you're not making those standards. You're not making it. And I guess, you know, a lot of men could relate to that. You know, a lot of honest men today are working, you know, honest hours, and getting not necessarily an honest pay, but then they've got these expectations. Good, healthy men want to see families succeed. They want to see children do well and have nice things. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? Yeah. And sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge, and we may not meet those expectations. You know, and that can cause a frustration.
I think one of the challenges is just understanding really the root cause of a lot of this. Like, I remember going up through school, and again, growing up in Christchurch, being Pacific Island, you know, the cultural differences was actually quite a big thing. And going through school, like, because our education systems, or even today, work and businesses don't really have cultural competency. They don't understand the dynamics of culture. And so I used to just constantly get in trouble in school because I'd be coming to school late because I was at home from mum and dad working late night to support my family as a young kid, and then getting in trouble, getting school detention, back on, you know, backlog of homework, and it was just a vicious cycle. Now, we've grown up in that in education in our high schools, and the flow-on effect when people get into employment is the same thing. We've got 8, 9 siblings in a family, got a fairly large Pacific Island Māori family, trying to put food on the table, and it's quite difficult. So that fear of failure is a constant thing for a man.
So I'll just chuck this word in here. It's not even on our script, but who cares? Let's open up, bro.
Go for it.
When I say average, what does that mean to you, Mike? Average. When I say average life, are you content with that?
No, average to me means mediocre. That's what average means.
But to break average, to break living an average and having an average mindset and an average outlook, you've got to break some perceptions and thought patterns in your own life, and we can call them fears as well. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we're just going to continually do what we do. And no disrespect to anybody that's got a job working in a warehouse or a factory, but we've got far more potential than that.
100%.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, average. The thing is that everyone talks about averages. You know, what's the average house prices out there? What's the average age of how many average tackles do the players make in a game? Average is what the society has set our living standards to. And again, because it's a culture out there, as human beings, we come under that culture, we become the subculture to that. And so for me, average is, I dislike the word with a passion. I think that on myself, I try and live above the average. I know so
it's a lifestyle? So would you say it's a lifestyle that if we're going to live above average and
it's a mindset.
Live it ourselves as a father, and then teach our children as well that they are born for more than just the status quo and what's on offer, but they can actually achieve dreams and aspirations?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a sad thing in South Auckland, because that's all we've been told is how to live average lifestyle, you know, and then not being able to think beyond that, because that's just the umbrella over South Auckland. Is, you know, there's a lid on top of you. You can't go any further than that.
True that.
You know.
Yeah, and I think, you know, with that stigma over South Auckland, I just want to encourage anybody. We're a part of South Auckland. We live in South Auckland, all that sort of thing, and we don't want that stigma upon our people at all. But it's going to take a generation. It's going to take men, particularly, that are going to stand in their gap and actually show and demonstrate, you know, what living outside of fear actually looks like. We'll come back to you very shortly, but I just want to encourage you. Those questions that I gave to you, audience, I want you to have a think about those. Public speaking, the fear of public speaking, the fear of failing, and also the fear of rejection. I'd like you to put some comments down, questions possibly, back to us at the end of our segment, at the end of the show. We'll come back to you. Right now, though, as always, Brother Clint, he's been out on the streets and getting the street talk point of view about this subject. So check this out.
If you succeed in life, then you've got a better chance of having a family and looking after them. Also, if you fail, well,
I don't really think much about that, bro, but my fear is probably in the failure itself, bro, just not being able to succeed and be successful, and just having my family wanting that, just wanting me to be who they want me to be, bro, just like a normal person, working, brother, going through everything that everyone else goes through that we're not doing, bro.
Trying to look after your kids, bro. You ain't got no job, no food, no money. Trying to be a beneficiary, they ain't cutting it in, not giving us enough money just to go and buy some napkins or some shit, man. They're part of it. That's just not happening, it's not enough. We need to do something better for our community.
It's still a work in progress, bro, in that way, and I'm waiting too, but I've let them down in a lot of ways too. And, bro, that's why I'm here today, brother, working and all this shit. I'm actually trying to get to the point where I can kind of say that I am successful as a father and family man.
but the trick is get out of it. You know, don't just sit there and say, oh, well, this is my lot, and then crawl back into the hole. The whole thing about it is to get out of it and try your best.
Stay in school, get a job. Awesome. Stay in a job, bro. Supply me a food.
Yo, welcome back. Here we are with the panel here tonight. Open Up Bro, last segment for tonight. Thank you, Angus, and thank you, Mike, once again for coming on the panel. That's one step of overcoming your fears. Thanks, brothers. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've been talking about our fears and how they lead to the difficulty of public speaking and failing and rejection. 3 main areas that we're sort of focused on. And those all have different effects of their own. We talked about, suppression and not getting opportunities because of the lack of confidence, lack of self-belief, lack of understanding of what caused these fears. We talked a little bit about that at the beginning. So now I want to move on, Angus. How have you dealt with this rejection? How have you dealt with these types of fears in your life today? And where are you heading now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, for myself, I face rejection and failure every day. I really do. And I think as a man, we face it every day. I mean, if you've got to pay bills, if you've got to pay tax, you got to face that every single day, because let's face it, the world is getting harder, Big old Uncle Sam is asking for more out of us. And,
so how did you turn your failures around for good?
Well, it's to be honest with you, here I go stutter, I had to listen to a certain particular voice. I had to surround myself with some people. And I know that sounds really cliche-ish, but it's the truth. I had to get around me some successful people. I mean, why would I want to try and aspire to be something? For example, you don't go and talk to a doctor about becoming Mr. Universe. You don't go talk to a bodybuilder about how to become a doctor. Because
so you're saying I'm just helping you with this, is that you're saying that fear really is inside you. It's not a spider. No. It's not a great white shark. It's not any of those. That fear that's gripped you and that prison is inside. Yeah. Talk to us about that.
Well, it's inside you. You've got to get it out. And the way to get it out is you've got to get some examples around you on how other people that have actually worked further up the road from you, who've actually conquered some stuff. I know everyone talks about the David and Goliath story. You need to get some Davids around you that have conquered some Goliaths in their lives. And whether that's a Goliath of bills, whether that's Goliath of employment, whether that's Goliath of owning your own house or being a father.
So association is really important.
Absolutely.
Who you hang with, you become like.
Absolutely.
Who you hang with, you hear them speak, you speak like them. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, one of my key role models and my mentors has been a man called Bishop Brian Tamaki. Yeah. And, despite what the media says about him out there currently, he's influenced and changed my life directly.
Massive.
And it's because of him that I am what I am today. You know, I've gone through the corporate world for 15 years. I'm now the country manager of a specific company, I can't say the name, but I've made a way to the top, all the way to the top of becoming a CEO because I've listened and I've followed the success path, if you like.
Mike, to you, my bro. So, you know, how have you overcome your fears, Mike, and, you know, and what does that mean to you today?
For me, how I overcome my fears, I face my fear. I put myself in situations where, you know, I know where I'm weak at, but the challenge for me is to face that fear and to see the outcome.
Yeah, solid.
And like what Angus was saying, surrounding yourself around people, you know, I do the same. I surround myself around the likes of yourself and people that have that influence. And I'm like a sponge. I like to watch people. I'm observant, and I try and learn from that, and I soak it in, and put it to practice.
So what we're saying here is that association is very important. The brothers have highlighted something very important tonight, and I want to highlight it as well. And that's Bishop Brian Tamaki. He's had an effect on all of our lives, and particularly mine as well, about bringing my confidence and potential out. It always is going to take somebody. It's always going to take somebody to break outside the mold, to show us, to show you or anybody what confidence looks like and what you can potentially be inside yourself. It's like an unlocking.
Yep.
And for us, that's what it's been like. Mike, how, and Angus, back to you as well, same question. How now, because you are overcoming your fears, have you helped others?
How have I helped others?
Overcome their fears.
Overcome their fears.
Situation stories.
Good example would be our Man Up programs that we run. I share my heart with the boys. You know, being a facilitator for me, you know, it was nerve-wracking for me because I didn't want to do it. You know, but then, you know, it wasn't about me. And then as time went on, my confidence grew, and I realised that, you know, these men are relying on me to be there every day, and the answers don't lie just in me because I'm a facilitator. It lies in the voices that are around the table. We call it the King's Table when we come to Man Up.
Nice.
And we bring a feast to the table. We have a feast, and whatever we bring to the table, we feed off it. It's like Bishop told us, you know, how he teaches us. We all have keys, certain keys for certain people's lives, and that person may have a key to unlock something for you to walk through.
So many keys, you know, I just want to pick on keys, you know. We're talking about keys that really are unlocking depression, you know. What else are we talking about here? Suicide tendencies, suicide attempts, these keys that, because we've overcome our demons, we've overcome our fears. And this is the thing, people, is that, you know, once you overcome those situations in your life, you become an answer, you become a solution to somebody else's life. And this is what Man Up is talking about, Mike's talking about in terms of Man Up. Same for you too, Angus?
Absolutely. I mean, look, I said to my men last Thursday in Man Up, you know, there are more men inside prisons, outside of prison, than there are inside the prison. Because we're locked up in ourselves. You know, we're locked up in depression. Some of us are thinking about suicide. Some of us are thinking about picking up the bottle, picking up drugs. Some of us are thinking about abusing our partners, our children. You know, our men are locked up outside of the prison. And so for me, Man Up is really, you come back to your previous question about, you know, because I've been unlocked through my association to Bishop Tamaki, yourself, and other men inside Man Up, guess what? I can now give that to other men. I can't give what I don't have, and if I'm not unlocked, I can't help other men unlock. You know, I can't give this cup to another brother if I don't have a cup. And if I haven't overcome some things, I can't help another brother do that. So it's powerful.
You know, the greatest thing about tonight is, in this moment anyway, in this segment, is that we're actually talking about it. We're not putting it under the rug or ignoring it and telling people to harden up and ignoring these types of topics. The fact that we're actually talking about failure, we're talking about the fear of public speaking, the fear of rejection, you know, the fear of death. You know, with you see so many people in our family lines and our bloodlines dying of cancer, and it can easily creep up on you quite quickly, and you think, man, I'm going to be next, you know. I know in our bloodline there's a lot of people that die of cancer, so there's got to be somewhere where we have an interruption to that in our belief system to say, no, that's not going to happen. That ain't going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Our faith, kicks in to kill that fear, to overcome that fear.
Yeah.
And then we have to start saying some things, like you said, Angus, something from inside has to come out of our mouth to stop that belief. Because if we don't stop that belief, then we continue it and then we transfer it.
That's right.
And if it's fear, fear travels fast and quick.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're able to talk here tonight. Here's something I want to put to you though. What encouragement would you give to men that have failed? Failed marriages, failed relationships with their kids, failed businesses, failed, just failed, quitting, giving up. What message would you give to our families and men tonight?
Stop being a champion. Stop trying to be a hero. Come to man up. You can't do it by yourself. The Bible talks about man should not be alone. You shouldn't be alone, brother. Just because you failed once doesn't mean you're going to fail all the time. So for myself, I've failed many times, but that's been my greatest learnings. And so for me, Cain has just been the whole, I'd say to all our brothers out there who are failing in life or feel as if they're a failure, that, as long as you've got breath in your lungs, there's always hope.
There's always opportunity.
Always hope.
Thank you, Angus. Mike?
Well, for me, just facing that fear. Facing that fear is what comes to my mind. And being honest with yourself, get rid of that pride, and face your demon. Until you face that demon, you're going to be blind to the situation you're in. And just being straight up and honest with yourself, and if you need help, just open up, ask for their help. Don't be afraid. Face that fear.
Awesome, guys. Yeah. Look, this is all encouragement, and for me, it's when we're talking about fear and failing, not once, probably several times, probably 1,000 times, to be honest, is to actually use it as a bridge. Use it as a bridge to get to success. We as men, we inherit ego, we inherit ambition, we inherit passion, and I think we've just got to keep that flame alive. You fall over once, and then you've got to get back up again. My father, just quick story. My father, I was boxing. I followed my brother into the sport of boxing, amateur boxing. I lost my first 2 fights to the same guy, and after that, I thought, you know what, Dad, I had enough of this. I'm a better league player, I don't want to do this anymore. And my father gave me a piece of advice, and it was a piece of advice that I live with for the rest of my life. Wow. He says, son, just give it one more shot, and then after that, then make a decision what you want to do. I gave it one more shot, and I beat this guy in that sport of boxing, and later on became obviously a New Zealand champion. So it was always a teaching. It was always an example that 2 losses, are obviously going to be the pathway to a greater success. So I've always had that in my mind. No matter if I lose, and we're going to lose, we can't always win. But when we lose, we use that as an opportunity to be able to engage something better for our lives and for our family.
Yeah, that's me.
So when we talk about our children that are dear to us, what happens when they face fear? You see it in their eyes. You see it in their eyes. They're scared of something.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that? How do we face that?
Man.
Your daughter goes, "There's a boogeyman in my room, Dad." What do?
Man.
Practical. What do?
Yeah, I just grab my daughter, hug her.
Yeah.
I just grab her and tell her she's all good, she's safe.
I think my daughter said there was something, or it might have been my son that said, "There's a boogeyman." I said, "I am the boogeyman." Almost assuring her and my son in the atmosphere of our home, fear does not live here.
Yeah.
And that's what a father, that's what a daddy would do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna sort of wrap up now on something really important to us, and sort of need your help to promote this to our audience. On the 25th of November 2017, Man Up to Tangata, we are going to be launching, and we will be hosting and holding a national awareness stand on that date. And the stand is around the work that Man Up does. It's a solution to society's ills and problems around domestic violence, drug addiction, prisons, and all those things that are wrecking our families, destroying our families, and dividing our families. We've got the answer. We've been doing Man Up to Tangata for the past 3 years. Great results, great successes, and now it's time now to bring that awareness to our nation. On the 25th of November 2017, we will be making a stand. And we encourage everybody, it doesn't matter what you believe or what your background is, you can be a part of this awesome stand. It also coincides with White Ribbon Week. Here we have this was an award that was awarded to Man Up 2 years ago for the work that we do, as we are a movement that are anti-violence towards women and children. And we were awarded this award because of the impact that we are having on families in New Zealand. So that was just this award, that's why that's there tonight. But Angus, just on the 25th of the 11th, 2017, you've been a part of helping build up this campaign. Where else can we go to get more information about this?
You can go to www.manup.org.nz. It's www.manup.org.nz. You can check us out on our Facebook, Man Up New Zealand.
Cool. Well, we've got an AV to promote the We Care stand. Check it out, take note of the date, and as Angus says, go to the website for more information. Cool.
While suicide,
poverty, domestic violence,
and other dysfunctions seek to destroy and separate, we choose to tangata, to stand tall, stand together,
regardless of our backgrounds or belief system.
We as the people of New Zealand
choose to stand for our people,
to bring hope,
to bring the solution.
We say you are valued, you are loved,
you matter. We stand because we care.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in live tonight. Open Up Bro. This is a regular occurrence, so lock it into your diaries. We'll always have a topic, a theme around men that's connected to families and our communities. So please tune in, please share and like this particular topic tonight. Really close to your heart and our heart. Any questions that are ongoing, check out our website, www.manup.org.nz. Leave a message on this Facebook page. But thank you, Angus, and thank you, Mike. I really appreciate your time. To everybody else out there, this is Man Up, and on 3, 1, 2, 3, tu tangata.
Tu tangata.
God bless.
Bless up.
Me.